This is part of a three-part presentation here where I tell you guys, Facebook fans, of all the advice that I got that has allowed me to be where I am today, financially free, and how I made 40 times over my initial 100,000 cash that I had 10 years ago. Now, these were all in investments, okay? There's nothing about selling businesses and all that. And this was really in response to one of my fans who basically asked me, hey, can you give some financial advice? So here it is, part one. And these are really the three advice millionaires told me to my face and how it changed my life during the past 10 years. This was so important, you see, because without this, I'm sure I will not be where I am today. I basically wasted my 20s and 30s basically screwing up, you know. There was a lot of times when I made money, lose money, make money, lose again, and finally lose a lot. And that was my story in my 20s and 30s. So what happened as I was about to approach my 40s, I decided to change my approach. Rather than reading books and trying it out on myself, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to read books, but I'm also going to check with the real people who have been proven to done things before. And hopefully by following the advice of these people, I would be able to meet my financial goals. So these are the three advice, the top three. The first one comes from a guy who owns a technology company, and the first thing he said to me was, you know what, you got to stop marketing and start closing deals. You're spending too much time talking, too much time describing things, too much time trying to sell, but you really got to sit down, close a deal, and convert all your efforts to money. And I think this is very important because as I embark now on my digital business, you see a lot of free stuff being offered here and there, building a client base and all that. But the question you always have to ask is, hey, when is this going to start to convert to money? And when you convert it, is it going to be enough to sustain your lifestyle, you know, your future lifestyle, whether you're working or you want to be financially free? So lesson number one, please start closing the deal and figure out how to monetize your effort. Test it on people who will actually pay for your service. Number two was about the stock market. You see, I had been investing in the Malaysian share market since 1993. It slowly tapered off after 2001 since, you know, I was losing money then. I really didn't know how to do it. So by 2006, I met this guy who said, okay, the best way to go now is apply to IPO. And when the shares go up, you know what? Throw it away, sell it to the retailers. So I said to him, wait. Aren't we supposed to wait until this thing goes up 10 times? He said, no, you got to sell it to the people who, you know, want to speculate. And then you move your money and do other deals. Just buy other stocks, other IPO shares. And that has proven to be a very, very good advice because, you know, now I don't, I say that I trade a lot of shares, especially IPOs. I buy a lot. And then when it goes up and goes for a premium, I sell it and then convert it to cash and move it to the next stock. Now, this also allows me to sleep at night while I'm building wealth because you know what? I have nothing on the market. I don't have to worry whether the market is going up or going down. So that's advice number two. The third advice that's really the mother of all advices that relates to one and two has to be with don't start a business and be an investor. Now, here's the story. In about 2007, you know, I had a business running consulting, 2007, 2008, and I approached this guy who had a business in one of the posh areas here in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, in Bangsar. It's called Bangsar. And he pulled me to his room and he gave me some very, very short but very serious advice. You see, he said to me, you know, you see all this business, you see the Mercedes out there, you see this office, you think it's called glamour. What he said to me, no, it's not glamour. It's damn hard work. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to keep this wealth because business goes ups and down. So he said to me, look, here's the deal. If you have a lot of money, just go and find a job, keep that money, invest that money. Trust me, you're going to be much happier. And lo and behold, 8 years later, I am much happier actually, because now with the money, I can just go on, keep on investing, work on capital preservation and getting the yield to sustain my lifestyle. So there it is, the top 3 advices that really changed my life for the past 10 years. I hope you've learned as I've learned from this, because this is something that you really don't find in books. You got to read a lot of books to understand this, but I took these 3 and made it work in the past 10 years. Okay, goodbye for now. Okay, hello there again. Now, if the first part of the presentation was about the advice I got from millionaires 10 years ago, this presentation is about going 10 years forward, going from 50 to 60. And this is about the advice that I got from billionaires, and this will be part of my financial plan and blueprint for the next 10 years. And here, these are the advice that they gave me, and I'm sure this is how it will change my life. So let's go through the 3 advice. The first one is really the one-trick pony, which is focusing on one thing. You see, unlike millionaires, it seems like billionaires are very, very good at doing one thing. They really focus. They really become best-in-class masters of the universe in that one thing. And one billionaire told me, hey, if you're going to do a lot of things, I can tell you, you're not going to be successful. And one of the words that I heard is a one-trick pony. This billionaire had listed several other companies, but he said, you know what? Company 1, 2, 3, and subsequently, they're all variations of the same technology. They're all variations of the first company that I've listed. And why I'm successful is that I'm a one-trick pony. So lesson number 1, be a one-trick pony. Do something terribly, terribly well and scale it up. Now, advice number 2 is basically fake it to make it. This is about startups. You see, when you're a startup, you don't have all the money in the world. You really got to do a lot of testing to see if customers are going to buy your product. And during this crucial period, you do not want to be spending too much buying infrastructure, say customer relationship management system that's all automated. What you should do instead is really just do it manually, although the customers can approach you to the web. At the back end, it's already manual. It's all manual. And what the customers will see is that they think there's an automated system at the back, but it doesn't matter, because as long as customers like it, they will come more for your service and they will buy more. And then with that additional income, you can then buy the proper and necessary systems to service your customer. Now, notice that this is not cheating, okay? I don't agree with cheating. This is just not telling your customer that what's really behind the scenes, but hey, it's giving them very good service so that they come back for more to make you very successful. So that's advice number 2. Advice number 3 is very unique. Okay, this is in Malay. It says menyembah, melutut, meminta. This is about asking for something. So if you want to ask for something, you really have to go and actually you menyembah. You have to actually go down to the person and ask for it, and to ensure that the customer is always your boss, or the customer is king. Yeah, that's what you do to a king, You just go down, okay? And then not only you go down on your heel, and then you serve him. And if he asks you to do something, you ask how high, because here you want to show the value that you are going to be able to give to him. And then only after this is done, do you ask for something. Now, this is very important, because when I talked about the millionaires in my previous presentation, for the millionaires, it was always about monetization. And I guess that's very important, because when you're starting from zero, hey, you need really to get the cash flow in. But when you're already a millionaire and you want to be a billionaire, it's about investing for the longer term. And this is what this lesson is all about, where you go down on your knees and serve someone, create value, and then only ask for what you think is deserving to you. So those are the advice from the billionaires that I'm going to use to go forward, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.